Hello everybody and welcome back to Urban Sprawl. I have been spending time at the floating farm working with my little copper golems, getting them settled in, making sure they're not feeling homesick, all that jazz, and working on the storage system. And let me tell you, it took me hours to get my sorting system under control, but I'm very pleased with it and I would like to show you it. We're at the floating farm and look, I've got floor space inside my little house. Both sides, floor space. I've removed all those chests that I had lined up here and the hoppers that were feeding into them with a water stream. I've got floor. I still need to be careful where I stand because sometimes they do latch onto you and shoot their nasty little lasers at you. But look, so I've got some space to maybe move my enchanting area over here so we don't have to jump over the enchanting table every time we come in. So what we've got the beacon, and the beacon is still down underneath. Let's not look down underneath. It doesn't look too pretty. But up here, look, focus up here. We've still got the main structure. So we've still got them falling down to an area where there's scaffolding. They climb up to the scaffolding and the water's pushing them forwards. Okay, so that's still there. We've still got the 4 hoppers and the 4 chests underneath. Look at it. They are empty. I'm so looking forward to giving these guys a nice smack and seeing how quickly these chests can be emptied and my little copper golems downstairs can put them away. I have been wanting to smack these guys, but I wanted to wait and share that with you. So we'll get to that in a little bit. I am very excited about giving these fishies see, they do latch on if you're not careful. But I want to show you downstairs. The first floor is still pretty ugly, still pretty horrible, but it's functional. And this isn't a floor where any guests would necessarily hang out. This is behind the scenes. So let me show you. There's the 4 chests with the fishies up above shooting at me. And like I said, they are empty. I've put 4 hoppers underneath, going to a chest which is also empty. More hoppers coming along, feeding into this chest, and then that goes down through the floor to that first copper chest for the copper golems. So, like I said, not very pretty, but if we go down to the next floor, this is it. As you can see, the prismarine shards have got a lot more boxes. They don't go for the top boxes, so when I notice these ones getting full, I've just been manually moving them up. But look how much prismarine shards I have got. And that's not all of it because I have been making lanterns. There's that main copper chest. So the hoppers are coming down, feeding into that copper chest. I have still got 5 copper golems in this pod. That copper chest gets everything from the Guardian farm, and whatever they can't store away, they put in the next copper chest, and that filters around to this pod, and they're putting away the prismarine crystals. So there's 2 copper golems in there. Whatever they can't filter, they put in a chest and it gets sent around to the next pod, which is raw cod, which by the look of it is almost full. Oh my goodness, I didn't realise I had so much cod. I know what I'll be having for dinner for the next couple of years. But there you go. So I think there's 2 copper golems in that pod. Now I did swap these 2 around. So this one has now got the puffer fish and the tropical fish, and not very many of them. And then this one has got the cod, but we do have almost a stack of cod. anything that this guy can't store away goes into this chest. I don't know how we got cooked cod in the system, but there's that chest, and that chest took so long to go through the system. So there you have it. And I do still have my little peeky hole. So I've kind of dug this wall out. This is behind the scenes stuff. This is the stuff that doesn't look very nice, but you can't really see it here. So I just like watching them work. And I've got access to that chest, so I can keep an eye on what sort of inventory we've still got to be sorted away and how much they're working with. And I want that because when we give those guardians a smack upstairs, I want to come down and see how much of this chest it will fill. And then we come around here and we've got another hidey hole. So I can check this chest and see. Basically, I've been helping them out. So to get all those chests from upstairs sorted away, and I tell you, it took me hours. I did help them out a little bit, so I would get the prismarine crystals and put them in this chest just to jump over that pod. And then we come here and we can see these guys. So I've got access to their copper chest if I want to dump stuff in there to keep them feeling like they're contributing. So we've got access to that chest. So yes, I like these little hidey holes where you can look along and see them working. Here we've got access to this copper chest. This is the fish pod. There's nothing in the system at the moment. These guys have got fish, and they're gradually looking for it. If you notice there on the left-hand side, I originally only had one chest all the way down the end here, and they took forever to come down and check it. So I've modified 3 chests. So there's hoppers underneath. So I've got 3 single chests feeding into this chest here, and they seem to be working a lot nicer. Even though copper golems have got a crazy range where they will find a chest, you stack them up like this and they don't tend to work their way all the way along. So I think like 4 or 5 chests in length is where their interests lie. Beyond that, they sort of forget that there's a chest there and go back to the start and look through all the chests again. So learning curve for me. But yes, I've got 4 chests to put stuff in, and these 3 or 4 chests, I think there's a double chest there, and then there's 2 singles. And these guys are very quick to get it out and sort it away because they don't get fish very often. And then we come around here. I feel sorry for this guy. He's always just standing there checking his chest over and over again. He doesn't often wander around. He basically just stands there. But I do have a viewing platform up here, so I can look down the length of it because I can't really... Oh, I did put one here. I like to access their chest, so if I want to jump the queue, like this guy is the salmon guy. He gets very, very little, and the poor thing must be bored. Very, very bored. So every now and then I like to make him feel a bit more useful, and I'll drop stuff in there. I mean, I can access that. That's why I've left this gap. I can access that and it will feed it through to his little copper chest there. So I like to have all my workers feel like they're contributing. Now that I know how it works, I can apply this to my other storage systems. And down below, we've come to the bottom floor, or the basement, if you will. At some point, I would like to make a little workroom down here and have it walled off so you can't see all this ugly cobblestone where I would like to try and get an automatic crafter set up to be making sea lanterns, but I'm not sure how that would work. So a little workshop, so I can come down and maybe have some hoppers feeding down, just a little trickle of the prismarine shards and the prismarine crystals, so I can make the sea lanterns down here. But that's a later me project. what I would like to do now is take the knowledge I've gained from setting this system up and take it over to my woolshed. I have tried a little copper golem sorting system over there, which was my first attempt and very, very ugly and not very efficient. I want to redecorate and I want to reset it and lay it out again so it's more in line with this. So let's go and do that. Oh, but first, before we do that, let's give these a smack. Where's my... I've got some things that I can mend. This is one of the reasons why I came over here with you guys. Let's give these fish a smack and we'll run downstairs and see what the damage is in those chests down underneath. So ready? Okay, let's go downstairs. Are they? That's already emptied. Wow. That's not too bad. That has already emptied. Oh dear. That was a dolphin. Yes, now this... I might need to put some solid blocks here so goods don't jump through that little gap there. We'll put some of these here for now and see if that fixes that problem. I think it's just going to get caught there. I might replace these walls. I don't have inventory space for that. That might just have to despawn. Okay. So hopefully that's fixed that problem. It does still gather around here though, because that's where they land. They land on those iron bars and then the water drags them forward. So it is going to have some loss, but unfortunately I can't see a way to fix that. Yes, unfortunately, not 100%, but I'm still very pleased with the modifications that I've made. I think it's going to save me just having chests and chests and chests of it all mixed together and trying to look through it and find what I need. So I am still pretty chuffed with the modifications that I've made. And if we come down here and we pop around to our little hidey hole, yeah. So that's not too bad. It's dropping it down here at a nice steady pace. So these guys aren't going to get overwhelmed. This chest has been full so many times while I was changing the layout. I think that's doable. Now we can go back over to the woolshed and start applying what I've learnt. Here we are back at the woolshed, and as you can see, a couple of small changes have been made. Well, this end's got some small changes. This end has changed quite a bit. So as you can see, I've started moving the infrastructure. So I've started putting the pods in and placing the hoppers and the copper chests. There are no copper golems in here as yet. So I still need to empty the chests down the end and set them out in the same manner that I've got behind me. What do you think of the colour scheme behind me? So I've gone for more jungle wood with some stripped jungle wood, and then the bookcases up the top there are jungle wood. I think it's got just enough difference to be interesting, but they're not crazy different. They've still got that orangish tinge to them, which I really like, and it brings in the rest of the build downstairs. I like it, and I'm even thinking of doing something up the top here with the bookshelves, maybe having something in a pattern going along, but that is probably the last thing that I can do. As you can see over here, I've got my 4 copper golems stored away safely. And one of them, I'm not sure which one, this one took so long to oxidise, but I've got them stored there. So they will be reanimated when I've got this system set out. As you can see, I still need to empty all these chests, which is why I've got the chests over yonder, and set it out like this. I have also, because I like keeping an eye on my workers and making sure that they're all happy in their little work environments, I do have a behind the scenes. So each of these doors goes into a different pod. I couldn't help it. I like to have access. Oh, I do have one guy, and I can't remember where he is. There he is. Actually, this is the guy. This one. He's not the one over on the shelf. This guy has taken so long to oxidise, and I just managed to manoeuvre him into this pod. So he doesn't have anything being sorted. He's just in here for safety and safekeeping while the rest of the pods are set up. I forgot you were in here, mate. I do apologise. But yes, I do like to check on my employees regularly and make sure that I really just want access to their chests. That's what it boils down to. And as you can see, the pods are very similar. So that chest leads into the copper chest. I haven't finished these walls yet because I need access. So that's what we're doing this episode. We're going to move all the stuff from the chests over to those chests and set up the different pods and reanimate some copper golems. There you have it. So I've got all the chests in place and all those bookshelves, which are a bit more of a pain to place than I originally thought, because they're basically a vertical slab. Depending on which way you're looking will determine the angle that they're positioned at. So a little bit of a problem, but we got there. I like it. I really, really do. The ceiling and the floor don't quite match. Originally, I was going for more of a laboratory look down here, so the ceiling's probably going to have a facelift at some point, but that's a later project. I like the colour scheme and I like those bookshelves. They give the room just a little bit more of a formal feel to it. So now I just need to get the copper chests and the copper golems in place, and we can start organising the chests. re-organising items, and I've gone for an example of the item on the floor. It does make the place look a little bit more messy than I'd like, but I think that's the easiest way for me to visually see what's in each box. Obviously, I've got a lot of cobble and a lot of dirt with all my terraforming that I've been doing, so those items have got a few chests for them. I have put some wood here, even though the forestry building has got a little sorting system of itself, because down here I do like to have access to wood rather than flying over to the forestry all the time. So the corner is wood and all the different variants of trees that we can get here in Minecraft. Down the end section, I was thinking of putting plants, plant matter, and drops. So like string and gunpowder, but even though gunpowder is upstairs. So this end I'm not too sure about, but as we come across items that I like to access down at the Woolshed, we can bring them downstairs and set them up to be sorted. Now I just need to get the copper golems set up. And this is the exciting part. I've got those 4 up on the wall, which can be very quickly reanimated and let the noise ensue, I guess you could say. So I've got these 4. Okay, so copper chest, double copper chest, because that's the start of the conveyor belt. 1, 2. Ah, they're so cute. I might put 2 here to start with, knowing that I will need more eventually. And there we go. And I will get some wax to wax these guys so they don't turn into statues again. Okay, so got some in there. Got 1 more. There we go. So got 6 copper golems in service at the moment. Remember, there's that guy around here. I think he's in there. He is. He is looking a bit green. There we go. So I need some more pumpkins. Oh. Oh my goodness, there's 2 raiding parties. And that other one's moving off, so I'm not going to run after them. So I need 5 more pumpkins. Let's go make some copper golems. There we go. So there's 2 in here. There's 1 in here. So he needs a friend. And 2 down in this last pod. There you go, guys. Welcome. Okay. Oh no, mate, no. No, please. I need something, anything. Get back in there. No. Block it off. Oh no. Oh. Do not want these guys getting out. Where is he? Oh. Where is he? Oh, come on! No! Oh, no! Oh, I don't want to kill you, mate. I really don't. Oh. Okay. Okay, I need to get back in there. He must have been right on my tail. Back in there. Back in there. Back in there. Oh, no! Oh, my goodness! Can I push him down? Get back down there. Oh, mate. See what I mean? You're handy, but by jingos, you are so... You do not want them wandering around. They'll, if you've got any chests, they will become real problematic. Okay, come through here. Look, there's a chest here. Actually, let's... There you go. Oh. Now I'll... Oh, the button. Ah! Okay. I don't want to keep that door open because the other one will find its way out. Okay, if we do that, have him come through. Block that off behind us. In. In. Oh, crisis averted. He must have been right on my tail when I left that little pod. Okay, but crisis averted. We can remove all this black wool and resume what we were doing. We've got 2 copper golems in each pod. Unfortunately, there's nothing going through the system as yet. I could start with the cobblestone and some of these stones and maybe some dirt, but I really don't want to put anything else in the system because there's still a lot of chests that don't have anything coded to it. Okay, let's get this starting to be filtered. Get some dirt, double deep slate. So hopefully these guys will realise that there's no space for dirt and they'll pass it along. These guys will realise there's no space for dirt and they'll pass it along. And before you know it, we'll have dirt being stored down here. I think we might leave it there for the episode, guys. So it's been a rather successful day. I've finished my sorting system at the floating farm with all the guardians being killed. I'm really pleased with that. It's going to save a bit of a headache when I go over to mend my tools, knowing that all those chests were full, and also making sea lanterns. So when I get that little workshop set up, that'll be nice to sit there and just potter around and make sea lanterns. And we also brought my knowledge that I've gained from the floating farm over to the Woolshed, and we've got a nice little setup taking shape, and they have started sorting stuff, although not all the chests have been itemised just yet. But we will leave it there for the episode. If you did enjoy this episode and the fun that we had with the copper golems, please hit the like button and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'm No Spring Chicken and I'll see you next time. Bye.